Hi everyone, this is Craig Merriweather with ACE&E Test. Test anxiety can not only have a psychological impact while taking a test, fuzzy thinking, not being able to concentrate, lack of confidence, but it can also have a physiological effect on the body. In fact, lots of us come to discover that we indeed suffer from test anxiety because of the way we feel right before a test or during a test. And it can be anything from feeling a little bit of butterflies in your stomach to a full-blown panic attack. So in this episode, I wanted to go through some common ways in which test anxiety may impact the body. Of course, one way people may experience test anxiety is with an increased heart rate, which will increase the blood pressure. This physiological response is designed to prepare the body for any perceived threat. Because when your body gets stressed, when you move into that fight or flight response, 300% more blood moves into the big muscles of your arms to fight. 300% more blood moves to the big muscles of your legs to escape. So your heart really starts pumping to get the blood into your arms and to legs to protect yourself. Another way people experience this is with muscle tension. Anxiety can lead to muscle tension, particularly in the neck and the shoulders and the back. And this tension contributes to discomfort. It may be headaches and overall just fatigue, physical stress. What you're doing is armoring yourself by hardening your muscles because your mind thinks you're under attack. But you're just taking a test. You're taking an exam. You're not being attacked. But again, your mind doesn't know the difference between a real threat and an imagined threat. So in trying to do right by you, trying to protect you and keep you safe, it's turning on this fight or flight response, moving the blood into the big muscles of your arms and legs, tensing your muscles to protect yourself from any blow you might receive. Another way people experience test anxiety is through sweating. And this can be particularly noticeable in the palms of your hands, your underarms and forehead. But this is different than regular sweat. Sweating is a body's way of cooling itself down, and this is great when you're exercising on a hot day. However, sweating from the heat and sweating from stress are chemically different in the body. So when the body gets hot, like on a really hot day or when you're exercising, sweat is released by the sweat glands, which open onto the surface of the skin and cover most of the body. This sweat is made up of water, salt, and potassium and sits on the top of the skin. When this moisture evaporates, the body cools down. However, when the body is reacting to an emotion like anxiety, stress, or even excitement, your body releases a different kind of sweat. The reason you start sweating when you're stressed or excited or scared is, again, it helps cool your body down, but it also helps balance your body's electrolytes and fluids, and it also hydrates your skin. Another way people experience test anxiety is with intestinal distress. Some people may experience symptoms like a stomachache or nausea or other intestinal issues due to heightened anxiety. Part of the issue with the digestive system is that blood supply that's going to your arms and your legs has to come from somewhere. So your digestive system slows down. There's no need to digest that sandwich so you have energy in 7 hours. You're in danger right now. This is also why people get sick when they're stressed, because their immune system starts to slow down. In fact, one of the issues with irritable bowel syndrome is hypervigilance, stress, and anxiety. That's the main cause of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And so one of the interesting research studies that came about probably 30 years ago at this point is that hypnotherapy is one of the best cures for irritable bowel syndrome. Not with just dealing with some of the symptoms of IBS, but actually curing irritable bowel syndrome because, again, if it's mostly related to stress issues, anxiety, hypervigilance, then relaxing the mind and body, then adding in suggestions, new instructions into the subconscious mind to heal the digestive system works really well. In fact, what research shows is that hypnotherapy works as well as medication over a period of 10 weeks. And after a year, hypnotherapy is superior to medication in dealing with irritable bowel syndrome. Another way people experience anxiety and stress, especially around tests, is with shallow breathing. And this is because people tend to tighten the stomach muscles. They're waiting for that 1-2 punch because they feel they're under threat. So they can't get those big abdominal breaths, those big belly breaths. When you don't breathe deeply into your abdomen, you can't flatten out your diaphragm, and therefore you can't get air into the bottom of your lungs. So you just have a tendency to breathe into the top part of your lungs, that 1/3 of your lungs. If you've ever seen a diagram or a picture of a lung like in a biology book, you notice it kind of looks like a pear cut from top to bottom. So if you're just stress breathing, getting that breath into the top third of your lungs, there's really not a whole lot of lung up there. If you feel where your rib cage is, it's like 2 inches from your hip bones. Your lungs are huge. By breathing deeply into your abdomen and therefore into the bottom of your lungs, you can bring in a lot of oxygen. Now, a big problem of shallow breathing is that 20% of the oxygen you breathe in goes directly to your brain. So the less oxygen you're bringing in to your lungs, the less fuel, the less nutrients, the less energy you have for rational, calm thinking. So this is a great way of dealing with anxiety. A great way to turn off the stress response, the fight or flight response, is slow, easy, gentle, smooth breathing as deeply as you can into your abdomen and into the bottom of your lungs. Again, that's sending so much oxygen, so much fuel up to your brain. Extraordinarily helpful when you're having issues with concentrating because you're stressed. And that's another issue people deal with, difficulty concentrating. Stress and anxiety associated with test anxiety can make it challenging to concentrate. Feeling that fear around a test can make it really difficult to focus on the task at hand. Along with difficulty concentrating, negative thoughts and emotional distress can come up. This can include self-doubt and a lot of negative self-talk, and further contribute to the overall sense of unease while taking a test. And another big issue around test anxiety is sleep issues and insomnia. In fact, this is such a big issue for so many people that insomnia and sleep issues are going to have its own episode coming up here pretty soon. Now, of course, it's important to note that test anxiety can vary from person to person, so not everybody's going to experience every single one of these physical issues. And if test anxiety is significantly impacting your well-being and your health, seek support. Get help from a mental health professional or a counselor or a therapist. You're worth it. It's important to take care of yourself. Thanks for listening. And as my gift to you, go to aceanytest.com, and there you can download for free 5 different recordings to program yourself for confidence. That's for you to have and to share. And if you or a loved one struggles with test anxiety, whether you get really nervous before an exam or an audition, job interview, or giving a presentation or a speech in front of a bunch of people, then check out the ACE Any Test online training program. It's the most comprehensive course for test anxiety relief. There are 12 lessons filled with techniques and strategies for turning off the fight or flight stress response and for building super confidence. There's over 6 hours of video training, over 40 recordings to download and practice with, and over 20 PDF worksheets to print out so you have the techniques right in front of you. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and here's to your success in all that you do.